the 1980s, Richard Ramirez, a psychopath known as the Night Stalker, terrorized Los Angeles with a string of vicious murders. Ramirez was sentenced to death in 1989, but a decade earlier, another man, known as the original Night Stalker, baffled and eluded California authorities. To this day, this killer has not been caught. The summer of 1976 marked the beginning of a 3-year reign of terror by a man known as the East Area Rapist. Starting in small bedroom communities in Sacramento, California, and reaching south to Stockton, this vicious predator is estimated to have raped more than 50 women, making him one of the most prolific serial sex offenders in history.
The amount of fear he put in everybody, I mean, the fear in the victims, the fear in the community. This guy was scary.
I got a call one morning, responded to a rape. A week or 2 weeks later, responded to another rape. We backtracked, found out there had been, I think, 4 other rapes before these. Nobody bothered to connect them.
Somebody put together a chart with a whole bunch of unsolved rapes. But as we went through the charts, we were able to eliminate all, but I think it was 5 or 6 that we decided were definitely all the same.
It soon became clear to authorities what they were up against: a clever and ruthless criminal.
The East Area Rapist had an extremely identifiable method of operation, his MO, unlike any other rape cases that we had ever been involved in.
The rapist attacked victims inside their homes while they were sleeping.
He wanted the definite surprise. He wanted to catch them when they were really relaxed.
He would come into the house, he quietly would go back into the bedroom where the victim was.
He wakes the victims by shining a light on them and telling them to wake up.
They could see nothing, except there was a threat of the gun that they would be killed if they did not do what he asked them to do. It's pitch black, and you just have this bright light in your face, and this voice screaming at you. I mean, you're going to cooperate.
Once the victim complied, the rapist blindfolded and tied them up.
Most of the time, he would bring shoelaces with him. Other times, he would take them from the shoes that were in the closet there.
He would tie them really tight, hands and feet, and they're in health circulation. You don't tie them that tight on somebody unless you're really trying to hurt them.
One knot in particular became the rapist's signature.
They call it a diamond knot, and none of us knew how to tie it.
Then he would just basically torture him.
The initial attack was awful in its own right, but the rumors of the torture and what might be coming next, laying there not knowing if he was coming back, getting up not knowing if he was going to jump out at you again.
He would spend hours, in a house, just terrifying the subject that was inside.
Even though rape is bad, that's not what they were reporting. They were reporting what they went through, the fear that they went through.
To avoid alarming the public, local law enforcement decided not to immediately release any information to the press.
We weren't quite ready to let the public know that we had a series going out there because they had nothing to give the people out there.
Police worked with victims to piece together a physical description of the attacker.
We know he was Caucasian, and we know that because they did see his bare legs. And at the time, they thought, when he first started hitting in '76, that he was between 19 and 28, 29 years old.
Mostly they talked about medium height, medium build, athletic build.
I was blindfolded and told not to look at him. He was bigger than me, but he wasn't not a giant, bulky man.
And the attacker made sure to hide his face.
He always wore a ski mask or some type of mask.
On November 4th, 1976, the East Area Rapist claimed his 7th and 8th victims, both on the same day. Police finally decided to alert the media, and fear gripped the area.
We have concluded that we probably are dealing with the East Side Rapist.
The press came out with that was serial rapist, and everybody started getting involved.
Concern over rape is mounting in this community. Many of the same women at this workshop will gather again next month for a sheriff's talk on safety in the neighborhood.
The community was all up in arms. There were rumors out there that he was cutting off fingers, that he was cutting off ears, that he was cutting off the nipples from the women's breast, and none of that was true. We decided that we needed to have some community meetings to be able to answer people's questions and to be able to set the record straight.
I live alone, and I would like to learn how to protect myself.
People had to change the way they were living. They had to lock themselves into their home.
People just did not go out at night And some people just didn't sleep at night. They slept in shifts. You know, there was a lot of fear, and even in my own home, we put everything we could on the windows and door locks.
Don't like it. It's getting too close to home.
Do you plan on taking any precautions?
I put locks on my doors. Peepholes in just last week.
All the hardware stores sold out on security hardware. Gun sales jumped 20-25%.
I have a gun, but I still don't feel safe being, you know, at home alone.
This is an entirely paranoid county. Anybody that did a burglary had to be out of their mind. They had to be stupid. Good chance of getting blown away.
For a full year, authorities tracked countless leads and sifted through hundreds of clues, but were unable to develop a suspect. Meanwhile,